Hi, this is Dana Stengel from Taringa Ranch. We do local native wildlife education on the east side of the LA area. Today, we're here at the Deukmejian Wilderness Park in the Office of Trails and Open Space. We're going to be talking about coexisting with coyotes. People are seeing coyotes more than ever before. Coyotes have been following humans throughout time, and studies are showing that they are as successful in the urban environment as they are in the wild. Coyotes are super interesting. You know, I think when we look at them as wildlife, we see a big crazy canine coming at us. The reality is, these guys weigh about 30 pounds. They're smaller than the average dog. This is coyote skull. You can see how their teeth are, how small their head is. Here we have examples of coyote sign. This is a sample, these aren't real. This is a sample of coyote scat, and it's a good example of the size and the shape. Maybe you see seeds in it, maybe you see fur in it. That's going to be an indication that it's a coyote rather than a regular dog. This is an example of a coyote print. Notice how small it is. Notice that you can see the claw marks on it because canines don't retract their claws when they walk. And all of these claws are pointing in the same direction, which is forward. When we're looking at why a coyote might be in our backyard, we need to consider what attractants are there and what deterrents could be there. When someone is having regular coyote activity in their backyard, often it's because they are feeding wildlife or they have a really big yard and they have areas that they don't go to often. Coyote experiences life through his nose. He can smell when the cat was there last. He can smell if a raccoon has been there. He knows if you've been to that part of your yard recently or not. And if you haven't, that might just be a great place to take a nap or have some babies. It's important to be aware of the perimeter of your yard at all times. If you have a water feature back there, you need to understand that that could be an attractant. And definitely if you're feeding birds or squirrels, because the seed for the birds will attract the squirrels, even if you didn't mean to feed them. And if you are feeding them, it's the same seed that of course brings the squirrels and will bring rats and rabbits, and the coyotes will come for those. So if we contain the resources, the coyote doesn't have a reason to be in our yard. If it's destroying our property or in a place that is not safe for us or our pets, these are humane deterrents. Things like noise and light will keep wildlife out of the way. And something like these you could leave on for several days to break a pattern. I like the cowbell. You bring this out your door and anything that's in your backyard is going to disappear immediately. I promise. And then finally, the motion sensing sprinkler. And anything that's at that level that makes a move, so you gotta bring your dogs in for this, is gonna get with water. What scientists are learning is that there is a connection between mange and rodenticide. If a bird of prey takes one rodenticide-laden rodent, it's going to kill him. Then his body is going to be on the ground where animals who scavenge will eat. After a few dinners like that, an animal like a coyote can fall prey to a disease like mange, which will not only bring him closer to homes in many cases, but will also lead to his eventual death. So I recommend a sturdy harness so that if you need to pull your dog closer to you, he's contained and it's not hurting him, then the sturdy leash, only 6 feet, and it is not retractable. For one thing, they're usually so long that you can't see where your dog's head is at any given point in time. Also, they have a mechanism on them that could fail at the wrong time. And if you are actively a part of that dog walk, you are far less likely to be approached by a coyote. But let's say you are. There are coyotes around. Depending on what time of year, they may be standing their ground, they may be close to a den. Also, you should know that it is part of coyotes' behavior, as much as it's a part of human behavior, to look right back at you. Having something that can cause a moment of confusion, a moment of surprise for this fight or flight animal, that's all you need. The way these work is that they're sort of like mini air horns. And again, they're producing something unexpected. You could create the same effect with your body, like that. And if I can't use my body that way, or I don't want to use my body that way, I can use a tool to help me. And if you combine this with the action, you're going to scare away every predator in the neighborhood, even the human ones, right? I think I just scared everybody in this room. Their favorite time of day is dusk, I will say that. When you're hiking, always hike with a buddy, wear appropriate clothing. If I happened upon any sort of wildlife that was making me afraid on my hike, and I had my umbrella, I would do this. Because that will scare away everyone. Now, you don't need to have a big rainbow umbrella for a similar effect. It creates a bigger use of the space around you. There's sound involved, and again, it was a surprise. That's how these things work. If I was mountain biking on the same trail, I'm gonna make sure I have my horn. This is great for humans that could be in the way, right? And this is also super great. All the wildlife will clear out. No wildlife wants to hear that, I can tell you. If you are interested in all the ways to coexist with local native wildlife, the Humane Society of the United States has this awesome publication that can help you coexist with wildlife. I use this a lot for ideas. And I think the most important thing is to be aware of what's happening in your backyard.